you are, stealing our ideas.
Oh, we've never stolen an idea from anyone, so why don't you two little girls just...
Sam Puckett is the rowdy, hostile, and unapologetic member of the iCarly crew. She later goes on to become roommates with Cat Valentine in a spin-off show appropriately titled Sam and Cat. And though she mellows out a bit between each series, both shows refused to address her excessively violent outbursts and careless disregard for her actions as anything other than comedy.
It's a transparent polycarbonate thermoplastic that's highly resistant to... Whoa!
You're boring me.
So where does all of Sam's anger come from? Why does she so rarely apologize for what she does? What situations seem to have sullied Sam's sense of safety and sociability? Suffice to say, Sam's scathing and selfish setbacks aren't as simple as they seem. So, shall we take a look? There's not enough people with originality, so here I am to save the day, Jayniac.
Sam, is it true that you've been arrested 4 times?
3 times? Get your facts right!
Being the co-host of iCarly requires a few skills. For starters, Sam's shown to be great at acting, improvising, and even tap dancing. On set, she's portrayed as the wild and aggressive host to contrast Carly's more light-hearted and giddy host. But off the set, Sam shows a number of additional quirks. Her delight in watching gross videos, her prowess for violence, and her obsession with many, many foods, including ones commonly associated with black stereotypes. And before any of you leave angry comments about me being racist for mentioning black character tropes, stereotypes, or portrayals, I'm black! Anyway, one of Sam's more notable quirks appears whenever she's feeling competitive or domineering. I'm referring, of course, to Sam calling herself Mama.
You put a dead fish in my locker, I handcuffed you to Gibby. We're even.
I don't play to get even. Mama plays to win.
Unfortunately for Sam, this competitive and domineering mentality is what usually leads to her making irrational, immoral, and at times, petty decisions. In the episode I Kiss, she exposes Freddy's secret to the whole internet as revenge for Freddy handcuffing Gibby to her, which was Freddy's revenge for Sam putting a dead fish in his locker. In the episode I Can't Take It, Sam sabotages Freddy's application for a camp he wanted to go to. Why, you ask?
It was 4 months ago, before we started going out.
Going to that camp was a dream of mine. And it would have helped me get into any college I wanted. Why'd you do this to me?
I was mad at you.
Or what?
Remember? I asked you what time it was, and you said, I don't know.
And in the episode I Sell Penny Teas, I think we see Sam at her absolute worst.
Who are they? They're 4th graders from St. Mary's right down the street.
You got a bunch of 4th graders to make penny teas?
Yep, and I'm only paying them $5 a day.
Guys, she's running a sweatshop with underaged children as her employees. The biggest reason Sam never really changes until the very end of iCarly is because she rarely gets called out for her bad behavior. In fact, there are a few times where her friends kind of act as her enablers, and whenever they do call Sam out for her misdeeds, her punishment is usually nothing more than a slap on the wrist. But no one's just born like this, right? Surely she must have learned this behavior, right? Or at the very least, any genetic predisposition she may have had to sociopathic tendencies was probably encouraged or coddled. But who could have taught Sam that it's okay to hurt people?
So, what's this game called?
Boomba.
Who taught you this fruit game?
My mom.
Oh, no.
Next, we both face away from each other.
Gee, I wonder.
Well, if you were gonna give me the locker anyway, then I want my money back.
There's my mom now. Nice driving, Mom.
An interesting aspect of Sam Puckett's character is how casually she mentions her terrible home life.
Okay, this is the coolest treehouse in the universe. Yeah, it's nicer than where I live.
Dude,
He told me I'm one of a kind.
Yes, and my dad once told my mom he was coming back.
But no one gets thrown under the bus more than Sam's mom, Pam Puckett. Based on everything Sam says, we know that her mother takes drugs.
It's like she's oozing happy.
Kind of like when my mom was taking those special vitamins.
She has frequent run-ins with the police.
He wants us to go to his house.
Where does he live?
Shelby, Idaho.
That's about 4 hours from here.
My mom could drive us?
She got her license back?
I didn't say that.
Well, did she get her van back from the police?
Maybe someone else should drive us.
And Sam's mom really gets around.
So, build me a website?
Okay, but we're gonna put it in writing that you gotta pay me $50 as soon as it's done.
No prob. My mom's dating a lawyer this week. I'll have him write us a contract.
Oh, I am calling that lawyer your mom's dating.
Too late. She's dating a rabbi now.
So isn't it interesting that Sam refers to herself as Mama whenever she's ready for a challenge? Sam may resent her mother, but she obviously has some degree of admiration for her mother's boldness, strength, and maybe even how outspoken she is. Because of this, Sam either inherited or adopted a great deal of her mother's negative traits. Sam has problems with authority figures, just like her mother. Sam uses violence to solve her problems, just like her mother. Sam has a tendency to mooch off of other people, just like her mom.
I don't want any part of her.
You don't deserve my parts.
Why would I want worn out parts?
Just take a good look at your future, baby, because this is where you're headed.
My future's gonna be just fine.
Who told you that? Your parole officer?
Though Sam's disdain for her mother likely comes from the constant neglect and implied physical abuse she's received from her mother, perhaps Sam's anger is much more deeply rooted in fear. Fear that one day she may very well grow up to become her mother. And all these violent outbursts and casual references to her tragic home life are actually a desperate cry for help or guidance. This can be seen most clearly in her day-to-day relationships.
You know, if you want to use my laptop, you could ask.
I could, if I respected you.
Carly Shay is Sam's best friend, and throughout the show, Sam spends a lot more time at Carly's house than she does at her own house. But this isn't just to get away from her terrible home life. On more than one occasion, Sam mentions how Carly helps her stay out of trouble, and this is totally true. In fact, most, if not all, ethical lessons that Sam has to learn are taught to her by Carly. It should come as no surprise then that Sam shows the most respect for Carly out of everyone in the series. And you know what? Carly's a good female role model for Sam. I mean, the only other female friend Sam has is Wendy. Remember Wendy? I remember Wendy. The only other people Sam frequently spends time with are Spencer, who she once had a little crush on, Gibby, who she regularly insults, and of course, Freddy. All of whom are male. Why do I mention this? Well, Sam's only exposure to men at home would be her disappearing dad and the revolving door of men her mother dates. One could assume that Sam has witnessed her mother abusing her male partners, which led to Sam thinking that that was a normal part of every male-female relationship. Throughout the show's run, Sam regularly abuses and humiliates Freddy, often claiming that she does it because she doesn't like him. But then they end up dating. And just when you think Sam might finally learn some responsibility and understand how to behave in a strong and lasting relationship, she still regularly abuses him, under the impression that that's how she's supposed to show affection. And after being called out for it and finally learning that it's not okay, Sam stops hurting Freddy and starts hurting Gibby.
Why are you being so hard on Gib?
I don't know.
I'll tell you why she's being so mean to me. Because she's sweet on Freddy.
Yeah. You know, ever since you started liking Freddy, you've been a lot meaner to Gibby.
And the reasoning she gives is simply...
Well, I gotta be mean to somebody.
No, you don't. Ow!
Sam doesn't know a life without abuse. So when presented with a relationship where she no longer can abuse the person that she usually takes out her frustrations on, she does it to someone else. If you guys would like me to do a whole analysis video on Freddy and Sam's relationship, I'd be more than willing to. Just let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, if I go to your apartment, your brother's gonna tase me or something.
I've been tased. It's not so bad. It's actually kind of a rush.
If I was going to diagnose Sam Puckett with something, it would likely be antisocial personality disorder. According to the DSM-5, antisocial personality disorder is characterized by a pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others, occurring since age 15, as indicated by 3 or more of the following. Number 1. Failure to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behaviors, as indicated by repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest. Number 2. Deceitfulness, as indicated by repeated lying, use of aliases, or conning others for personal profit or pleasure. Number 3. Impulsivity or failure to plan ahead. Number 4. Irritability and aggressiveness, as indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults. Number 5. Reckless disregard for safety of self or others. Number 6. Consistent irresponsibility, as indicated by repeated failure to sustain consistent work behavior or honor financial obligations. Number 7. Lack of remorse, as indicated by being indifferent to or rationalizing having hurt, mistreated, or stolen from another. It should be noted that though there is evidence of conduct disorder with onset before age 15, the individual must at least be 18 years of age in order to be diagnosed with APD. Many, if not all of these characteristics apply directly to Sam and can be seen clearly throughout both iCarly and Sam and Cat. Sam's problem is that she needs help, and it doesn't seem like she ever really got the help she needed. Oh my gosh, you guys, this video took a long time to make. I had to rewatch a lot of iCarly just to find very specific clips, and I didn't even end up using all of them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. I will read them, and if you make me laugh, I'll give you a heart. Remember to check out the merchandise. A few new designs were added the other day. Every purchase helps my channel grow, and even if you can't purchase anything, feel free to just browse, and let me know if you have any cool ideas for designs. By the way, have you ever noticed how Dan Schneider loves pairing characters that argue a lot? What I Like About You had Gary and Tina, Drake and Josh had Josh and Mindy, Zoe 101 had Quinn and Logan, iCarly had Sam and Fred, and Victorious had Jade and Beck. Was Dan trying to tell us something? Anyway, what should my next analysis video be about? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, don't be afraid to check out the community tab. Sometimes I put voting polls there so you can vote for the next video. Until then, I'll leave you with this.
Come here.
What's going on?
You can track the location of a pair phone if you know the user's password. Do you know Sam's password?
Yes.
Fine, I won't look. You type it in.
Okay.
Please stay on the line while your call is completed. Long-distance charges may apply. Hey, this is Sam. No one ever checks these messages, so just hang up.